Hello, today we are going to talk about the Pythagorean theorem. First, let's draw a right triangle. Okay, so the idea of the Pythagorean theorem is that you see this small side right here, we're going to name it A. This other small side we're going to name B. And this big side we're going to name C. And the idea of the Pythagorean theorem is if I take A, square it, and then add it to B squared, then that sum will equal C squared. And this is the Pythagorean theorem. So now let's do some practice problems. On a baseball field, the distance between all the bases and home plate is 90 feet, and all the corners form a right angle. How far does a player standing on home plate have to throw the ball to a player standing on second base? Give your answer to the nearest foot. Okay, so notice from home plate to first base is 90 feet. From first base to second base is also 90 feet. And then we're trying to figure out what is the distance from here all the way from here. And if you notice, there's kind of like a right triangle formed. If you're having difficulty, let's go back to our work area. Okay, so we're going to replace A with 90. We're going to replace B with 90. So let's substitute that in to the equation. So 90 squared plus 90 squared C squared, because that's what we're looking for. We don't know what C is. Okay, so now we're going to take the squares of 90, and the square of 90 is 8,100. Same thing with this one, 8,100. Okay, so now we're going to add these two together. The sum is 16,200. And this is what you want. Whenever you're solving for a variable, you want to get the numbers on one side of the equal sign and the variable on the other. See this exponent right here? We need to get rid of it. In order to do that, take the square root of both sides. Okay? So the square root of C squared is C. And then this is approximately going to be 127. Let's see if that's correct. It is. All right, let's try another problem. The city ordered a skateboard ramp for their skateboard park. The ramp is the shape of a right triangle and is 25 feet deep, 7 feet tall, 4.5 feet wide. Okay, so look at this right triangle here. The base is 25 feet. The height is 7 feet. So we can ignore this because it's not part of the triangle. So the 25, the 7, and we need to figure out what is the length of this long side right here. Okay, so let's go back to our work area. I'm going to clear this because we don't need it. All right, so now I'm going to plug in 7 in for A, so it's going to be 7 squared. Excuse me, and then I'm going to plug in 25 in for B. So it's going to be 25 squared. And again, we're looking for C squared, what C is. Okay, so it's going to be C squared. All right, so now let's take the square. So the square of 7 is 49. Okay, 25 squared is 625. Nothing happened here, so C squared drops. All right, so now let's add these two numbers, and the sum is going to be 674 equals C squared. And again, to get rid of this square, we need to find the square root. Okay, so now we have approximately C is 26. Let's plug that in. And that's correct. Thank you. And I hope you found this video helpful.